Hello everyone, so welcome back. This intro isn't going to be very long before we get into the actual video itself, but I thought I'd just give a quick introduction. This is another one of my voiceover travel with me sort of videos. I've done a couple before in the past, and this one's going to be quite a bit longer than those because this trip was probably the longest one we've done in a while. And we did like a lot on this trip as well. We got like a lot in. So we did the first 4 days, first 3 days. Yeah, we did the Lake District. And then the next few days we did Snowdonia and Barmouth in North Wales. So we did some cool stuff. You will see as we get into it. I've got lots of videos, photos, and I'm going to voice over and just sort of talk you all through it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. Okay, and we are off. So we headed to the Lake District via the M6, and there it is on the sign. And here we are arriving in Windermere. The drive down was not too bad considering it is peak tourist season, and we went along like the M5, the M6, and those roads during the summer can get so busy. But we didn't hit any traffic at all on the way down, which was fantastic. So here we are, and just down by where we were staying there was this lovely little marina we walked down to on the first night, just at sunset, which was just like amazing. Look at it, it's stunning. And the place we stayed was this little holiday park. It was like tucked away just outside of Windermere. It was really nice. We did get lost trying to find the lodge we were staying in, but that was due to the mishandling of its name. But anyway, so our first day we went into Windermere itself and we rented this little boat for an hour which you could drive. There's my mum. It was quite easy to drive, and I think my brother drove it most of the way. So we got to go just sort of up and down Windermere. We didn't manage all the way, obviously, because it takes about 3 hours to do. There I am. And there was a lot of boats out on the water as well. There was this big tour boat, which we actually went on one of those on the last day, which you will see later. But that boat's called the Swift, which I found quite funny. So that was nice. Yeah, there was also a lot of sailing boats out as well, and there was a lot of people actually like paddle boarding, which I thought was quite brave because I put my hand in the water. There's my dad. I put my hand in the water. It was very cold. It's funny how many small islands are around Windermere as well. That was really cool. And then later in the day we headed down to a place called Keswick, where there was a nice little walk we did. This was only about half an hour, but it had some really scenic places, as you can see. These were all photos taken by my mum, as my phone was out of battery at this point, which is a reoccurring theme here. So I honestly cannot remember where we were going when this video was taken, but there you go. And the next day we headed down to Ullswater, and this was on the drive down. There are some incredibly scenic routes and valleys through the Lake District. It's sort of that area of like Cumbria, and the Peak District is sort of known for these valleys, and it's so beautiful. It's honestly like, just like, I have no words. There I am looking out. So we had to stop and pull over, obviously, to get some photos of this view, because I mean, look at it. You don't get stuff like that in many other places. So we pulled in Patterdale because we have a Patterdale Terrier and we wanted a photo at the sign. And here we are in Ullswater, and there is my dad skimming some stones as we waited to get on this little steamboat thing that took us up Ullswater, which is the second largest lake in the Lake District. And there it is, there's Ullswater. So we boarded this boat, which I think was called the Raven. I may be incorrect, I'm not 100% sure on that. And it took us up and down Ullswater, which was a couple of hours. It's really pretty. Ullswater has got a lot of scenic areas to it because Windermere is a little bit more built up at some points. Ullswater had a lot more of that country charm, where Windermere was a lot more of that small town charm. Both of them are absolutely stunning. It's, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful places that this country has to offer. It is really incredible. And we walked through a place called Coniston to Tarn House, which is this place you're seeing now. And there was a little forest path which led through to Tarn House. That took us about an hour. Then we headed back into Windermere, and there was all these geese along one of the little marinas. And this is the final day in the Lake District. We got on this boat which took us all the way from Lakeside into Windermere and then down to Ambleside and back again. and that was about 3.5 hours. It was so pretty. It was one of these proper like old looking boats as well, which made like for such a cool ride. And I was just standing on the bow, whatever there, but it was so nice to get to see like the Lake District from the perspective of the actual lakes as well, which was something I've always wanted to do. The Lake District has been like a bucket list thing of mine for ages, so I was very much happy, and I thought this view was so pretty. I think this was at Ambleside. We like stopped for a few minutes because there was some people who got on at Lakeside like we did. There was other people who got on at Windermere, and we're off again on the way to the second part of the trip, which is Snowdonia and Barmouth. We stayed in Barmouth, which is I think just outside of the region of Snowdonia, which is a collection of mountains. It's a mountain range centering around the tallest one being Snowdon. And here we are in Barmouth, which is a little seaside town. It was so pretty. That long bridge there you're seeing is the viaduct which trains go over, which you can walk over, and we did. So our first day we had a look round the town of Barmouth itself, which was very pretty. It was very much typical seaside, but also had a lot of stuff to do considering this like viaduct thing, which was quite cool, which we walked over. As you can see here, there was a lot of boats out here as well. It seemed like a popular sailing route as well. The sea was quite like calm and reasonable, and here's a train coming past us on the viaduct, which this was a little bit scary, I'll admit. I was a little bit like, oh, is this safe? Are we really allowed to walk over this thing? But apparently we were. So there's a little Transport for Wales guy, it's my dad waving. So there's the view. I will admit the view from the viaduct was incredible. It was very charming little place. Very like, I don't even know. So we headed down to the beach as well, which was, it was nice. It was a nice like sunny day, and then this was the walk down from where we were staying, which was a little bit longer than we estimated because we took the wrong path, but we got there in the end. And this was just on one of the evenings. We got some like dinner and we walked around the beach, and you can see the lovely little message I decided to leave on the beach. So then the next day, and this was really cool, we headed off to the Snowdon Mountain Railway, which is this little train that takes you all the way up Snowdon, which is about 1,085 feet. Here you can see the little train we took coming in. It was kind of scary because it was this teeny tiny little train carriage on this slanted mountain road, and at some points like we went over this bridge across the mountain and there was like nothing on either side of us. It was just this tilting little train. So there we are boarding the train, but it was really fun. It was quite nice to do something that, you know, made me a little bit nervous, but like in a fun way. So we couldn't see too much out the windows because it was quite steamy as it was raining, but we did see like a lot of cool things, like the sheep. In fact, the driver had to stop and like whistle out the window because there was a sheep on the track, which is quite funny. So you can see you can see how we were tilted, and you can see the terrain getting rockier and rockier, and we like went past loads of people walking Snowdon, and here we are at the peak. It was so difficult to capture footage up here because, as you can see, it was so windy. That's the train carriage itself, and there's another photo from the top. I was tempted not to go up there, but I did. As you can see me struggling to keep my hood up because it was so windy. And there it is, the summit, 1,000 and however many feet. There's the train carriage again, and you can sort of see the tilt it's on. But this was so much fun as we got to see all the scenery around Snowdon, and I've actually decided that one day I would like to walk it. And we have a cheeky little hot tub shot. There was a hot tub at both places. So then on the last full day, we did a little place called Port Merion, which is this like Italian style town in the middle of Wales. I don't know why it's there, but it is really pretty, and it has all this like old architecture. I think they started building it in like 1928, so there's a lot of really cool ornate architecture there, and like it's right on the coast as well, so it's very pretty. So you can see a lot of the photos I took there. It was very busy, but it was really nice. Like, it wasn't crazy crowded. And there's just a lot of really nice looking stuff around there. It almost felt like being in Portugal for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I got Portugal from this place. But it was a really lovely day for it as well, which was quite nice because the weather's been a bit unpredictable. They had this nice pool in the middle, and they had all these like ponds and stuff, and a really like nice garden. And they had all these ornate paintings that were just absolutely incredible. They had this really nice like seaside path that you could walk that went up to this little like rock path, which you'll see me standing on there, and like it was very pretty. So that was amazing, and it led up to this lighthouse thing, which was really cool, so that was nice. And here's a video of one of the like spots by that rock path, which it was nice to just like walk around. Oh, that video is quite funny because there was a wasp right by me. I wanted to keep the audio on it, but you can hear me swear because of the wasp, so I thought I'd better leave that one. But yeah, and then I could not resist this shot over, like, you can see that's the mountain range in the background. I believe one of those further to the left is Snowdon itself. And then after this we had a little afternoon at the beach, which was nice, and I got to do my bodyboarding, which is what I like to call surfing for people who are too scared to actually surf. I don't get to use my bodyboard that much as like I'm not coastal. Then we went for dinner afterwards, and this was the beach view from the restaurant, which was really nice. So I had to go out there and get some footage of that. Got some cheeky drinks there with my mother. And there's the view again. And yeah, that is all we did, and here is the ride back home. So thank you guys for watching this. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next post.